can't see myself without you by my side. Can you bear it? Can't see myself without you by my side. Can you bear it? Can't see myself without you by my side. Can you bear it? Can't see myself without you by my side. Can you bear it?
Yes. How we doing? Oi, Stefan. Are we doing all right? Yes, you're a manic man's in the background there. Oh, look. 22 people. My favourite number. My birthday's on the 22nd. And I come onto YouTube because of an event that happened on my birthday. The 22nd of May. Damn it. Numerology. Right, enough of that. Yes, how we doing? Good to see you. Yes, Rob. How we doing? Who else we got in the house? Nomad. Yes. How we doing, sir? We're doing all right. We're doing all right. Thought I'd come home a little bit quicker than normal. What time are you starting? Starting now. As soon as I press live, I started. I'm getting into the habit of playing a little tune, just as an intro, just while people come in, sit down, while I put the kettle on, the usual stuff. So I just thought I'd play that. So I hope you're doing all right. Yes, Damon. Mate, sweet as a nut. Sweet as a Brazilian. And we're not talking about the variant either. We're talking about nuts. Yes! Vegan realist in the house. How we doing? Good to see you all. I've been, obviously, tons of footage to go through. There's still some footage of what happened on Saturday. I'm still buzzing on the events that happened in Manchester on Saturday. I'm still really buzzing about that. I had a brief little detour with an upload that I put on yesterday, but I've got, I think, one more, possibly two, but definitely one more of an interview of a guy that seems to be quite prevalent with the marches, whether they be in London, Manchester or Liverpool. I've clocked him. Seems to be doing a good job. Seems to be a straight up guy as well. Nice guy. Seems to be looking at it with a degree of intelligence when you try to do the marches in terms of organising. I've watched him in the background for weeks. So hopefully I'll be able to get that uploaded in the next day or so. I know, mate. I know. Can you believe it? That was so rum, that, wasn't it? It was so rum. And I felt at the time, I'm being naughty here. But then I thought, they're being naughty by not letting us move about the way we want to. Free mobility. And to be guilted out like you've got Andrew Lioyd Fibber that's going on with himself. You know what I mean? And I look at this. If I wouldn't have took my bike, I wouldn't have been able to go in, because there's no way I was leaving it outside. Even locking a bike like that up for more than 10 minutes in Manchester town centre is dodgy, because I've got so many detachable things. I've got detachable wheels and a seat. So if I'm looking at going anywhere, I'd have to lock the frame up, take the two wheels and take the seat, because guarantee one of them three or all of it's going to be gone by the time I get there. So I was like in a dilemma. I didn't know whether you could walk through with bikes, but I think you can anyway. I don't think there's a big deal unless you're riding it. So I was like, whoa, yes. And as I seen them surfing the waves, I thought, get on that surfboard, son. Get on it. And guys, you guys made that day. It was positive. It was strength. And if I wouldn't have been able to do that, I wouldn't have been able to get this. That's coming down the escalator. That was a mint 10, 15 minutes, maybe more than how long it was. It seemed to pass so quickly. So positive. Everyone was buzzing. There was so much noise and it was reverberating right round the old Arndale. God knows what it must have sounded like at the other end of the Arndale, because no doubt the sound reverberated right round. Yes, Stefan, thank you very much. Yes, dude. I've got an email, mate. I've got an email, and I will say this now. I'm really bad at getting back to people, because the one thing that has to probably take a back seat is the comment section and getting in touch with people and whatnot. Just because my workload, just because I do what I do with the YouTube, and also with phone calls that I have in the background on my working day, the man hours that I take doing that. So the comment section is something that I kind of leave, and I'll jump in and out here and there, and I will give kind of basic answers back every now and then, but I can't guarantee I'm going to do that. But I can give you my email address, and same as, I can't guarantee, because I don't check my emails that often, because I don't get time. Time management is a bitch, and it's horrible. There's not enough hours in the day, but I'll certainly try. My email is redpillphil@aol.co.uk. That's redpillphil@aol.co.uk. Thank you very much. Yes, so hi to everyone. It was, wasn't it? You know what? We all shown guts. Look what everyone done there. Look what everyone done. It was great to be with them. It was great. I felt alive. And Brit mentioned Brit Girl. There's an interview that I done with Brit Girl a few weeks ago that, unfortunately, I won't be able to put it on this channel. But I do really beg you to go and watch it on my Manic Manx channel. It's a brilliant interview with her. No holds barred. We're talking about the concerns freely and openly. And it's one of them that if I put it on here, there may be an excuse for them to give me a strike, and it's just like, you know, it's not on. So, but what I do say is, we say all the time with this place, with being around people like this, and you've just got a like-mindedness. Everyone's got variable amounts of feelings and emotions and conscious levels and political opinions, but you know what? This is the first kind of set of marches that I've been going to, which is more kind of freedom orientated, you could say. That is less and less important. The colour of your skin is less important. The politics that you have is less important because it's never really brought up, you know. Not that it was a massive important thing before. I do feel that the earlier stuff that was following wanted to project the same message. In certain ways, it didn't know how to, and in certain ways, it fell for psychological tricks, which traps itself. But the main, predominantly people within the marches I covered previous years, fucking sound people. And I will always say that. I will always defend, you know. You go out, you kind of treat as you find, and all I ever get is love, and great affection, good words, good common sense, and intelligent conversation. Every now and then you're going to run into a wrong un, and we know that. You know, spectrum of society will dictate that if you hold a march, a group of people, even a judge, a jury at 12, you're going to get a wrong un in there. I've been lucky enough to do jury service 3 times, and I've seen plenty of wrong uns in there, but yet they're at a higher status than me. But they were fucking wrong uns for many different reasons. So that's just society. You've got good and bad all over the place, but you can't tar these with a dirty brush. You can't. And the more you do it, the more you can see that it's coming back to bite you. And it was brilliant. I'll say it again. It was absolutely brilliant. Well done. Well done. And you're right, mate. Yeah, tell me about it. But they know everything anyway, don't they? You know, you get to the point where I'm not going to bury myself that underground that I'm not even visible anymore. You know what I mean? I'm out there. They don't give a fuck. They want my details. They know where I am. They know my house. You know what I mean? They'll be probably watching me on satellite now. Exaggeration, but you know what I'm saying? The one thing that I lost a few years ago is thinking like that. You know, the only thing I will do is cover the camera up on my laptop. That's it. In terms of my phone, my camera can come on and off as it chooses, when it chooses, you know, or what it's like. Same with the microphone. I haven't got an internet TV, so I don't need to worry about that. So certain surveillance things, yes, but hey ho, I'm not saying anything in the emails that anyone should be concerned about. You know what I mean? I've just been telling you, barely get back in touch with anyone. Yes, Chunk. You all right? Yes, who's this? Yes. Nice. Thank you very much. Welcome along. And I would like to say, welcome along to all new subscribers and old ones, obviously. You know, you always get the love on here. But thank you for jumping on. There's many videos, some music orientated, some not, on many different topics, there for your perusal. Take your pick. Take your bleeding pick. Just put it back when you're done. That's all they ask. It's just like a magazine in a dentist waiting room, innit? You know what I mean? Right. It does, doesn't it, Carl? It does. There was a comment there. The only 2 things that matter is character and behaviour when it comes. Yes, it does. It does. And I will say this as well. Now you've kind of brought it onto that little subject. There was another event going on roughly at the same time, but it changed location maybe at some point. Now that's this. Does that come up? Let me get rid of that here. Right. So let me stick that on. When I first got to Manchester, literally rolled in at the park, just gone live, I seen this. Now, normally, if you're looking from this position now to your right-hand side is the statue, where normally people congregate, do the speeches, because you can elevate yourself a little bit because of the steps, right? However, when I got in, there was pro-Palestinian thing going on. Look, see all the flags there? See it all? Now that had nothing, no bearing on what I was about to attend. What I was about to attend, you can see there now. You can see it's over to the left. You can see all them people there. So that this is the one thing that I've really got to stipulate here, is that within the comments section, there was a few people that were somewhat confused as to what the march was about. It was freedoms and just people sick of lockdown, the lifestyle, and a whole manner of different subjects, jobs, businesses. It goes on and on and on. And the way it's been brought about, the fear tactics, and then that scratches into the BBC and the kids. So before you know it, there's 1,001 things that people were out there for. The one thing that people wasn't out there for on that day there with that group of people is pro-Palestine. Had nothing to do with that. Now, me personally, I'm not interested in any of that argument. I'd have to say this in a nutshell. I love good Palestinian people. I love good Israeli people. I wish the good of the pair of them would come together and get a resolution to this. That's about it. In terms of then bringing it over to here and bringing a pro-Palestine Israel argument when I'm in England and I have no kind of relevance to what's going on over there, it seems so redundant. There was one occasion I was in Salford and a young Asian lad was on a motor scooter with his mate on a motor scooter, and they turned round and went, "Free Palestine." And I think I actually said something on the stream. And I just went, you're in the middle of Salford. Your life's like shit in Salford because of what go on in. Everyone in the country because of what go on in. But yet you're running out trying to get all pro-Palestine. I would love to say that in Palestine, at this very moment that you said that, there's a load of pro-fucking UK banners. Do you think there will be? No, there won't be. Now, that doesn't make me a pro-Palestine hater. It means that I'm not interested in any facet of that argument other than what is going on predominantly in this country. Fucking full stop. And I ain't having it either way off anyone who tries to then tell me, because I want to talk about certain things, that I'm somehow a shill. Because that's where it always nudges to. If you're not pro-Palestine, if you're not saying that these flags are relevant and all the shit that go on and you agree with it, you're somehow a shill. Ridiculous. Don't throw it on me because I ain't wearing it. I'm telling you. So the reason why I say that is because there was a series of things that went on. Once the march, we attended our march. It was a brilliant day. As ever, I called it a day at a certain point. I think it was about 5:30. I remember looking at the clock. I had a quick 10 minutes talk with TKE, brilliant guy, sub to his channel. I asked him what he was doing. He said he's going to stay on because the pro-Palestinian thing's coming back. So they must have gone to another location. So I'm like, right, it's not my bag. I'm going to ride home. Got a shitload of footage. I'm going to go through it. You know what I mean? I was buzzing. And I knew kind of what I see on certain bits of footage, and I wanted to get to it. So it meant a lot of processing, and I'm not worrying about. I've had a day of it, I'm going. Went home, no problem. Day or so later, once I'm editing, as I say, I'm getting people in the comment section going, is this pro-Palestine? No, they want one single flag. Palestinian flag. And if there was, I ain't got no beef with it anyway, to be totally honest with you. It's not about that. But it wasn't a pro-Palestine thing. I'm getting sent videos of certain events that had happened. One particular in Manchester. Bear with me. Yes, pardon me. So, yeah. We went through the Arndale. It was brilliant. As you know, vibes, good vibes, no bad ones. No one wanted any trouble. No one was, being aggressive or angry. From what I see, this is footage. This is footage from later on, from what I gather, from what is perceived to be as the pro-Palestinian march event. They looks like they went in the Arndale as well. Now, if you look at what happened when we went in, and if you look at this, you'll see a difference in vibe, a difference in sentiment, and something that I've got to say that I've got to differentiate myself from, and no doubt everyone else who was at that same event with me. So here we go. So, when you look at that, if you get headlines saying about the Arndale, people entered the Arndale without mask, you got to make it very clear and semantical on which event, because you can clearly see there's a different attitude. So, my comments frozen here. Well, yeah, the level of castigation that has been administered to many different organisations, marches that I've followed, I would have to say more than the majority of the time, it's not valid. It's wrong. It's unjust. It is unjust. It's as easy as me calling the average granny walking down the street a Nazi. That's how common sense it is. But they're doing it. They're getting away with it. Just like the anti-vaccine thing now. Like I say, with the anger and the militancy that you're just seeing there, I don't want ever to be a part of any of that with anything I follow. That's never the answer. You can see how positivity, smiles, good vibes, no ill intention on anybody is more attractive and alluring to the outside individual. The more likely to get involved, the more likely to see your plight, because they're not seeing you as an aggressive individual who's trying to ram raid your opinion down the fucking throat. Pardon French. So it's sad. Sad when you see that. I've got more, but I don't need to go on it because I'm actually going to. But I'd like to thank Dean as well for sending me that footage. So that's me in a nutshell, just wrapping that up and just saying, you know what, that was nothing to do with us. You could clearly see the positions. There was no merging of the two. And you could see had one set of flags that were pretty predominantly all the same thing. And there was one with what looked like many more people, but what come across a lot more friendly and not many flags that was all of a collective nature. There was various things going on. It was a beautiful sight to behold, so we can't conflate the two. So let me get rid of that. Some space. Katie, got to say a big hi and thank you to Katie Jane Swallow, children'smassop.news. As she knows, I'm really untidy because I come in, I load up the stream with all the gear, and then I just do one, and I never clean up after myself. So I am eternally sorry for that, Katie, and I do hope you accept my apologies. So yes, right, let's get back to basics here now. But yes, Damon, love you too, brother. What's that? I recently found a Journey into Sound album that both Bomb the bass and Eric B and Rakim sample. Oh, yes. Yes, mate. Well, thank you for your comments over the years, because I know I've read many of your comments involving my music and my music progression and what I'm doing and stuff. And you've always said lovely things, mate, and really supported what I'm doing. And that's helped me think that, you know what, introducing music is a good idea, you know. So thank you very much for all your support, sir. The thing is, UK is home to a lot more nationalities and ideologies than it has ever have been. You're right there before. We will witness a lot more of this, more division to come. I hope you're wrong, Rob, but I've got every reason to think that you're correct. Particularly when you've got militant behaviour, particularly when you've got what is perceived to be now as a collectivised fucking opinion that has to go. And the castigation if you don't want to conform to that collectivised opinion. I can see that. And I can see where you've got what's looking like, not knocking people, but everyone is on an individual path to raise themselves. So what I'm seeing is a population that is dumbing itself down. Not necessarily getting more academic. Academic and common sense for me are two different things. So I can see that with that, throwing the narratives at people, scaring the bejesus out of people with fear and narratives to a population that is dumbed down and getting somewhat militant because of the propaganda. Yeah. You watch the sparks fly. Totally agree with you, Rob. The one thing I will say is, with all that you can see going on around you, it's brilliant to go to marches like that you can see a mass of people that can get it. A mass of people. And one thing I will, so another thing I will say, I was speaking to the electrician at work today, and I was telling him about the Arndale, and he goes, "Oh, I ain't seen the footage." So I got my phone out. He goes, "Oh, look," he knew it was on YouTube anyway. And I was playing in one of the videos, the Arndale one, and he's like had a big smile on his face. And he just turned round and he just couldn't understand why and how more people don't know about it. You know what I mean? And we were just both bemused that something like that could go right under the radar. Thousands upon thousands of people. And then literally stood underneath the windows of the BBC studios, and still they're not reporting anything because the narrative is something else. Totally demonise it. The one thing, he turned round and said, that gives me hope, because that makes me feel that I'm not alone. And I got it straight away, because we know what the media's doing. It's closing down any other opinion but what the narrative is. So when you've got such a chokehold on what is reality. And then you can then navigate that, steer it, mold it like a piece of plasticine into your reality. So that is the reality of the average person that doesn't look any further than the nose. So if they're only subjected to that information all the time, they're going to have no idea, even if they do truly believe that this is dodgy. All they're seeing is everything telling them to go and get a certain thing done and the world's going to be great. So he was reassured by looking at that and thinking, I'm not alone. There are thousands upon thousands, tens, hundreds, millions all around the world and this country that don't want to comply the way it's been done. So that is a massive, massive thing for me. That I got to see a glimpse of somebody come with some real common sense there that give me a glimmer of hope that, you know what, there might be 10,000, whatever it was in Manchester, there might be 1,000,000 in London. How many are not coming out? How many are not coming out? You bet your ass will be fucking more, won't there? Won't there? So when you think of it like that, it's not as bad as it seems. You could almost argue that the propaganda that everything's going smoothly and the world's getting, that is just a smokescreen. Because then that goes back to Mr. Fibber, Andrew Lloyd Fibber, the billionaire, the fucking billionaire. And he's telling people the shit that he's telling people, pardon my French. He's going out proclaiming to people that people who don't vax, or anti-vaxxers as he wants to call them, not people who want to be pro-choice or informed. No, you're just come under the one banner. Same again. You're a fucking Nazi. You know, you've just been slapped with one hell of a brush, and now you've got to get yourself out of it. But you've done nothing. He's now proclaiming that you're just as bad as a drunk driver. You're just as bad as a drunk driver. Get on that. Yes, buddy. How we doing? Is it bitter Zane? Is it bitter Zane? Was it bitter Arben? Bitter Arben's afternoon, innit? Oh no, man, with Jamie. See what I mean? It's a long time. It's not good to Morgan because that's good morning. No, I don't freaking know. Good St. Arben? Hello, how about that? How you doing, our kid? Make it a lot easier, bro. You'll have to speak my language. I can't speak German, bro. So how you doing anyway? Thank you to everyone who's just jumping on. We're just talking about Andrew Lloyd Webber, selfish people who refuse COVID vaccine. That's how he classes you to drunk drivers. You've got to think of other people. So it's this collectivized mindset, innit? Now, you can't be an individual, think for yourself, because by doing that, you're being selfish. Now, stop being selfish and think of other people. Think of other people. You're not thinking of other people going out marching, wanting freedoms back. You're not doing that at all. It's you, guys, all you, that are going to bring the next lockdown in. Do you not see where these headlines are going, guys? This propaganda, this fear. Indian virus. Is that as real as they're making it out in this country? Or is that a way to scare people to go and get something done to them? Put it this way, Have we got a variant from Mars Platin yet? Colliers, Ancoats, Newton Heath, Sale, Altrincham, Chester, Liverpool, Bolton, Rochdale. Because I'm sure there would have been plenty of people from all them said places that were running around the Arndale on Saturday. So surely now the medical record should prove it emphatically. Or are you realise going to tell the story that you're just going to sink back to your life and everything will be all right? That's the problem most of us have got here, isn't it? The theatre legend who is often spoken about his hopes for the West End to reopen soon, didn't mince his words when speaking about anti-vaxxers. See, everyone's just the same. I'm not a fucking anti-vaxxer. Said it before. You put a cobra in here now, it bites my ass. You watch. Man, I want that vaccine within 10 seconds. Put it in me. Put it in wherever you want me. Ass, me freaking elbow, wherever. Just get it in there. But when it talks about this, I think I have to consider my options a little bit more. That's all I'm saying. I do think it's selfish because look at it this way. You could say, it would be like, go out and have a drink tonight and drive home and accidentally kill someone. So would it be? I mean, that's the probability of what he said there. Is that not the biggest load of crap? Can he actually prove that? I mean, if I go out 6 days a week, absolutely hammered and go and drive my car all over the place, the probability I'm either going to crash it, maybe, it's heightened, let's say, but it's still not guaranteed, but depends how much you're drunk. All depends on the factors, doesn't it? So you do that, probability heightens that you might injure yourself, somebody else, or a building, yeah? Or a fucking dog or whatever. So what's he saying? You've got a heightened probability because of what? You've not had the vaccine, but everyone else has had the vaccine, supposedly protected from whatever it is that's about. So that's the first concern. Well, what you're worried about because you've had it. You're trying to get me to get something that I don't need. My antibodies tell me that everything's all good. So then by doing that, you're now guilting everybody psychologically that if they don't comply, you're somehow just as bad as someone who is breaking the law by drinking and driving. I don't know where you can get that correlation. Realize tells me that he's full of it. Because Realize tell me that if he had a single point there, you would see it after every march. There would be a correlation. There's not. I guarantee now, the majority of the people that go to them marches are probably living a normal life, and when they can, they're going about the business and meeting their friends. Probably. If they're anything like me, I'm going to my mate's house, I'm doing this, I'm not fucking listening to Boris. If they're doing the same, where are the fatalities? Where are they? That's the Realize I'm talking about. When you start to see the propaganda, like when this first supposedly come over here with Asian individuals falling on the floor like they've just been knocked out. Remember that? Are we seeing any of that in your real life and you Realize? Because if you are, then to me, Andrew Lloyd Fibber may have a point. But to me, my Realize from my interactions, not only at work, but around and going on marches, I'm not seeing a single shred of evidence to suggest that. Now, there's an element where you could say, well, that's quite an insulting thing to say. He's an intelligent guy, a billionaire, and he's come out with that. Now, to me, it almost seems that, you know what, it's just a psychological trick. It's an article that now is generic. I looked it up before, pretty much every news outlet covered it. And it's just there to imprint and embed a little bit of doubt into people, in it. That's all it's there for. And then on the other hand, this billionaire in the same article is talking about how he's got the government cash in hand to fucking get the theatre back on the road. I think, you what? You what? You're a billionaire. I totally feel sorry for anyone in the theatre industry where things have gone, you know, and anyone else who's been affected by this. But it's hypocritical for this man to stand up and ask for money when he's condemning a large section of the population as fucking no more good than a drunk driver. You cheeky. Really? When you say 6 have been jabbed, James, and hello, I think you're a new subscriber, aren't you, mate? You said hello in the comment section. Hello there. Was that because afterwards they had the jab and then went into the hospital post the jab? Because that brings on to another point. Yes, how we doing? How we doing? Good to see you. That brings me on to another point. What would Andrew Lloyd Fibber say to this, doctor? This is something that I brought up with Britius Galius. Very clever, articulate young lady. And this was a screenshot that I'd taken from a doctor's shop window in America. She explains, because of the litigation, how crazy it is in America, instead of going the way that you would assume, that if you haven't had, then the litigation may come against you. It's gone the other way with some doctors, it clearly, because this is on the front window of a doctor's surgery. Because of recent developments, we find the need to institute a new office policy. If you have gotten the COVID, we are asking you to quarantine away from the office for a minimum of 30 days after your most recent shot. Now, why would a doctor be putting that out? Andrew Lloyd Fibber, wheel your ass in and answer that question. You're good with theatres, but that's about it, innit? You've made your billions off that. So speaking up on behalf of the people who've decided to do what they want to do, that's fine, that's up to them. You'd never heard me tell people not to do it. It's a free will, free choice. I know I don't want to. That's it. And I'm certainly not going to call them drunk drivers because they chose to do it. It's their life, their body. You know what I mean? Just don't get in the situation of telling me. So the question remains, why would a professional physician put this? If he's worried about litigation, that's one thing. Litigation must mean probability in order for litigation to be there in the first place. If there was no probability of it ever happening, there'd be no litigation. There's no probability of me getting run over. There'd be no ambulance chasers. So he's only put that up there for a reason. Why would that be? Why would that be? There has been an overwhelming amount of stories from women whose health has been negatively affected by being around, yeah? Not drunk drivers, was it? For this reason, I need to protect the people in my office. Before booking any future appointments, we will need to see written proof of when you're Thank you for your understanding on this difficult situation. Dr. Baker. Baker, he's dropping it down. Baker, he's not having it. Baker, he's a doctor. See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? So don't give me that shit, Mr. Andrew Lloyd Fibber, calling people drunk drivers when you don't know what you're on about, and you probably can't even break down what you've put into yourself. If you feel you need it, go for it. What's stopping you? It's very true, sir, but the guy's a billionaire, and the guy's going to be spearheading the theatre, so he's an elite. It might not be relevant to the common man, but he's an elite. As soon as he come out, the press pushed it out there. So we're not going to buy this. We're not going to buy this because we can see right through it. The problem that you've got, it's another fair angle for people to be nudged who just want to live the life. There was a guy that I was speaking to at March, and he was telling me there was a load of anti-vaxxers, drunk drivers that have now gone and took it. And that's fair for whatever reason. In some cases, it might be holiday, whatever. It's up to you. It's not a question of me condemning you. Just don't condemn me for me having my own personal choice. You know what I mean? It's not really up for my consideration as to my opinion on whether you should do it or what. It's up to you. It's every man for himself at this point. Is it not? Or is that being selfish? Because what this guy is trying to imply, Andrew Lloyd Fibber, is more of a collectivized opinion, innit? Think of other people. Think of other people. Think of other people. You're original. You're organic. You've got your own mind. But yet, you can't do that. You've got to go with the program and think of other people. And who am I thinking about? Who exactly? This is crazy. The political propaganda that's being pumped into people that are just going about their lives, that this will affect, that this will make them, give them another story, making them feel like drunk drivers. How many people are going to think psychologically? You know, what I will say is, in the world of waking up, I guess, majority of us are strong-minded, so you can take it. You've been called all kinds of shit over the past few years, so you kind of, so I'm not alone with that. A lot of people just go, bats on, Phil, and I get it. We're just stronger, Not everyone is. Some people are very fearful. Some people, if they get enough stories that are telling them from what they regard as a reputable source, that's their reality. So that's where it becomes very sinister when you've got one news story about Andrew Lloyd Fibber, but yet every fucking news tabloid pumps it out there. You've got thousands of people outside BBC running around all over Manchester in the Arndale, and they barely say a thing. Yes, White Rabbit. Can't miss you out. If you've just jumped on, mate, thank you very much. If you've just subbed to the channel, welcome along, mate. Thank you very much. Frank. Yes, Frank. Fair play to you, Sander. Fair play. But what I was saying before, Mr. Andrew Lloyd Fibber now wants to make you feel that that's selfish to think like that. You've got to think about the wider public now. The wider public. Fucking hell. The wider public that, from what I've been following for the past 3 years, was brainwashed into thinking I'm a Nazi. Was brainwashed into thinking I'm a Islamophobe. Was brainwashed into thinking that I'm all kinds of wrongings, going out causing trouble. Really? Because they're susceptible, because they're not thinking. Just being guided. That's all they're doing. They're not even seeing it. There's a fucking shepherd behind that bush. Can you not see him, brother? You know what? On both sides, if they feel they need it, mate, that's up to them. I hope fine. I hope there's no effects, both short term and long term. Because half of these people that will castigate you, you've only got to say to them, can you tell me what that may do to you in 5 years' time? Right then. Don't tell me shit. Can you tell me, can you guarantee that all your system has not been affected by that in any way over a successive period of time? Can you prove that? But right then. So this short term, just get it in there, is not really the cleverest way of going about it. Because if you're thinking long term, you're thinking, what the fuck are going on in with that? That's not paranoia, that's common sense. Who are we? I'm confused. Who are we? Free thinking, common sense people that just want to be live a life, don't we? And not be dictated to by what you can see as establishment-based narrative that is being trickled down through the governmental system, through politics, and affecting all our lives. Yo, Jason, how we diddling? The leaked document from Canada last year is pretty gospel, pretty much followed it to the letter. Army on the streets next. Well, it's a demonising campaign, isn't it? What Andrew Lloyd Fibber has played a part in. Whether he done it wittingly or unwittingly. This is probably what's happened, right? And I fucking guarantee it, pardon my French. He would have been interviewed, talking all kinds of shit. How he's crying, being a billionaire. Never mind the people who work for him, he's more him, oh my thing. Yeah, whatever, dude. Yeah, seriously, you're a billionaire. That aside, he would have been interviewed on a multitude, gone up and down on all different subjects. They would have picked that out. Just like the Oprah Winfrey, they went for a straight certain topic, inflated the hell out of it. Once he said that, guarantee, boom, they've made a bigger, expanded the story. So instead of them talking about the whole interview, no, they've put a micro bit of it, and he'll verify it because he did say it. But I guarantee they've picked what they've wanted from that interview, made it into a story, splashed it into this generic thing that's being pumped out like fucking bugs him alone. You know what I mean? It's like, in order to demonize people, this is where it gets funkier. Because now, what they're trying to say with that is, the section of society that are choosing not to go down this path and get things put into them because they're thinking, they're now the scourge of society. When you're getting a press that's being allowed to class you as a drunk driver when you've done fuck all wrong but think, that's putting the hit out on you. So that's going to get your family members now that are less informed in many cases. I can't say in all, but in many cases, because they don't look into it, because all they want is a fucking holiday. Yeah. They're going to look at them stories. This uber intelligent billionaire who's come out and said this. So the world's got to listen. So they'll listen. And then when you're saying to them, well, listen, think about it. You're an anti-vaxxer. You're just as bad as a drunk driver. So all they're doing is weaponizing less intelligent people or less people who don't forward think, who are not critically thinking on this subject. That's my opinion. I might be wrong, but that is my opinion. And it's slick, it's psychological, it's very subliminal, very subliminal. So maybe this is the new thing now. The people that are left, we've got to round them up, make them feel like shit, make them feel ostracized from society. Never mind free will. So this thing about, oh, they'll never be able to vaccinate everyone because of the Nuremberg Code. Really? Yeah? They're doing it through the fucking back door, aren't they? And that's how it looks, my opinion. Could be. Could be. Could be. I mean, for me, I'm only looking on an individual. And if people feel the way I feel, that's fine. I don't want to put myself in a camp because, same again, when I go to a march, there's people that say things that I don't agree with. There was a guy that was running around the march when we were in the Arndale. He had a megaphone and he was shouting at people on the megaphone that when they had the mask and they were walking past him, that if their kid has got a mask on, it's child abuse. Now, we can talk about the health benefits or lack of benefits of wearing a mask. We'll do that all day long. Of course, you're breathing in your own shitty air that should be coming out, not back in. I get that. But to castigate people on the other side like that, and the reason why I say that, because as he was saying that, there was a woman with a child. She had I'm not sure whether the child had the mask on, the woman did. In the Arndale, she thinks she's doing right? As he was saying that, the freaking look she gave him, because they were pretty much passing, but going in different directions. And I thought that was out of order. You shouldn't be saying that, but that is my opinion. That probably won't do the march any good. You're shouting like that on a megaphone to people. But that's my opinion. You don't need to be like that. You know what I mean? If you're going to make people reconsider, calling them a bleeding child abuser is not a way to get them to reconsider what they're doing at all. But he thought he was doing right. So there's many people within the marches that their way of thinking, their logic and their red pilling journey is nothing like mine. Right? But the shared truth is freedom. I won't accept any violent acts, anyone being violent. I don't want to be around it, and I'll call it out if I see it on this side. I don't give a fuck. I'm not having it. Yes, they do. They do, sir. They do. And you don't want to be doing that because then that woman's going to go home and say, what? All these anti-vaxxers. And that is uncalled for. So there's got to be a little bit of consideration here, hasn't there? You know what I mean? Even if you do feel as staunchly as you do. Let's hope it wouldn't, mate. Let's hope we don't go there. I don't want to generalise. Who knows? Who knows? One thing I do know is for me and mine, and what I can see is a considerable amount of people in this country feel the same way. Over my dead body, bro. It's one of them. How they're going to get away with it, all the different tricks and the facets, I agree with you. It's an element of sitting back and watching little things unfold. I've had videos taken down because of it, mate. I've had it. So you can tell when they've spoke about other remedies and stuff, boom, gone all of a sudden. Crazy. So you know, well, that's the other thing, innit, if you're talking about the definition. I know. When you've got a doctor that's going to put that sign up, what's that telling you? So as far as they're concerned, that doctor's opinion is no more valid than ours. But yet, if he was walking home and he witnessed an accident, his opinion's more valid than anyone, innit? He could tell you exactly what artery or whatever, what's going on there, what he may need, what they may not need. Seriously? So you're right with that. Say he's going to go right down. You're not going to be able to hoover your house, vacuum your house. They're going to squeeze you into doing it. Squeeze you. Yes, mate. Yes. And when you consider what was going on in that country and how that happened, there's many different reasons why. Many. Third world country. Innit? And obviously that could have been because of certain things that were rolled out. We don't know. I don't live in India, so I'm not going to profess that I do. What I do know is that by the time news gets to this country, something happens with the mainstream media. Because instead of them telling the truth, what they tend to do, they tend to spin it like it's the fucking waltzers at the fair, don't they? You know what I mean? Spin it until all of a sudden it fits what they want, but they've somehow told you something that's resembling some element of truth. But then at the same time, they don't talk about the other side that them maybe gives a more balanced view. The jib is in. Yeah, of course it does, mate. The studying you have to do. The studying, the exams, the books you have to read. Probably doctors are pissed off now anyway because most of them are just literally look on Google when you're in there, and I've had them do it to me. You know what I mean? Maybe they're getting dumbed down now through the pharmaceutical narrative. You don't have to think about being a doctor. Just do this, this, and this. So I agree with you, mate. And what would happen if, is it your father? Your father. What would happen if he turned around and said what the same thing as this other doctor who's put the sign up? Would all that wealth of experience mean absolutely jack? Would then Andrew Lloyd Fibber be able to go, your dad's nothing more than a drunk driver? Yes, Bob. Are we diddling? Yeah, well, there's that, mate, yes. Because we don't know. There's an element of uncertainty, isn't there? You know what I mean? With how they've done things before when it comes to that, like I say, with Snake, things like that, I don't see a correlation of mad side effects, and people demising because of it. They only tend to demise if they don't get it when it comes to that. Apart from that, maybe one or two other things that's foolproof, been tested over the right amount of period of time. All of a sudden, Lioyd Fibber here. All of a sudden, he's a medical fucking doctor. He knows. It's all effective. How do you know? You know how to put on a good performance. That's about it. So just worry about your curtains and when they're going to draw back. And you're a billionaire. Stop sticking your hand out to the government because we're already skint. You know what I mean? Fucking homeless on the streets. Or are they drunk drivers as well? Yes, she is. I haven't seen too much of her recently, but yes. I would agree with you there. Not all of them. Not all of them. We don't want to go generalising again. But for me, academic and common sense are two different things. And I've seen and been round and spoke to very intelligent people that haven't got a shred of common sense. You knew that they couldn't even get the way home. You just know it. Fucking whatless. They're to be had. And they're highly intelligent. But they haven't got an element of streetwise about them. They haven't got an element of nous. Lambs to the slaughter. So they stay away from people like us. So like, what? What? Could be that, mate. There's always money to be made. Look at the industry that's been built up around all of it. The testing, that, all, everything. Are we getting Technic SL videos anytime soon? My Technics are up in the loft, mate. They're not set up. And I'm in the process of actually selling off my vinyl bit by bit. There's a lovely lad, I think he's from Sheffield, that is coming down and buying the records that have been stored at a friend of mine. So my vinyl's going, I'm converting, I'm going digital, mate. Digital. I'm getting I'm getting a Rain controller. Man, looks beautiful. 1,500 quid, but it looks beautiful. What it can do. Revolutionise what I do. So yeah, the days of the decks are gone, mate. I haven't got the room in this house. It's only a small house. So that middle room I like to keep concise. I'm gonna have my music in there, like keep everything neat. And the best thing for that is digital files. It's all on a hard drive out of the way. When I first moved in here, I fitted it all out with records, shelves everywhere. It was beautiful, but then the records started to stack out onto the floor. You could barely walk through the house without having to step over them. It was like, so yeah, them days are sadly gone. I remember them well, the old SL 1210s. Man, I bought mine when I was 21. That's how long ago. 21. So let me look it back now. I'm going to be 51 in a week or 4 days. So 30 years ago. 30 years ago, man. That's when I bought SL 1210s, Technics. Beautiful things. And I had decks before that. They were just belt drive, they weren't direct driven. Anyway, rambling on. Thank you, sir, from San Diego. Yes, hope you're doing well over there. Thank you. Don't sell, bro. Set up a membership. But what I do hope to be doing, if people are interested, slowly but surely, I'm introducing the Manic Manx. The Manic Manx, as you know, it's a conception of my own. It is plural, but at the moment, the music that's made under Manic Manx is done by myself. I've got another channel on YouTube, Manic Manx channel. I'm hoping to get enough subbers up to that, to a certain level where I could possibly start streaming. And I mean proper streaming, club streaming, decks, not like what I do going out and about. So proper fixed up camera, got the decks there, got my mate who's going to be the other side of Manic Manx. He's got his decks. Could go to his, do a bit of filming, come here, do a bit of filming, get other people coming in, you know, breezing in, doing little guest appearances and things like that. Many different genres that are going to be played. It's going to be mint, but it's just going to be a patient. We're just going to have patience and just wait. The beauty is that waited long enough to get the channel open and set it up and throw a few files in there. So it is coming together. It's coming together. Sorry, I'm hungry. What was the one for? Oh, first one of you was just oh, my one. I'm doing what? Thank you so much, guys. Honestly, one thing I will say. The support is so important. What was good for? Sorry about that. Now, thank you for the support, the massive amount of support I get. Even when I'm out, people coming up saying hello, things like that. Brilliant. You don't know how much that makes you feel. Because Great Brit will tell you, we very rarely ever speak. We kind of just interject every now and then in the background on WhatsApp, but we get on with our lives. We leave each other to it. So we don't tend to have a massive circle of seeing people a lot of the time. So for the majority of the time, I'm on my own, my ideas, what I want to do, how I want to do it, and taking risks and things like that, try to break new ground, try different things, like with the last upload. And I don't know how people are going to react to it. And I'm buzzing that people are actually digging the shizzle. Not everyone. It's not going to apply to everyone. But thank you. Because that gives me the will to keep going, yeah, all right, sound. I'm loving the way this channel has took to the music. I'm loving that. Because that's where I didn't know. I didn't know whether people would want to listen to my brand of music. I do different genres and try and fit it to videos. But, you know, it's not some people's bag. So I'm buzzing that people have just adopted it. Thank you very much for your support. And same again, if you've just subbed, there's a shitload of free videos right below. Go right through, help yourself. And I've even said this to people, if they choose to take any of the videos and use them in a positive vein, go for it. And that includes the music. Go for it. No problem with that. If you want to give us a shout, give us a shout. Just don't claim it's your own work, I guess, but do what you want to do. I like to think that some people, even if there's one person who's like me, coconut, you know what I mean, like a coconut. One person who's sat in the garden day like this, patio open, like this, clicking the fingers, just playing one of my tunes, just like having it. You know what I mean? If one person's doing it and buzzing, if more than one, then it only gets better and better, doesn't it? Yes, we are Breezer. I think that's what it is, isn't it? Bit of the old school raving. Can't help it. It's still in the blood. I'm 51 on Saturday. Let me just double check. Yeah, Saturday. 51. You would have thought I'd got that crap out of me, wouldn't you? But I can't. Well, flexing it up. You're 51. Sun Life was on you the other week, and you're all mixing and flexing. What you doing? Put your slippers on, get the blanket over you, and go and get a cup of Horlicks. You know what I mean? I shouldn't be doing this shit. It's like the love and the passion I've got for music. It's like when I was 14. 14. I was going down to town riding on my bike at 14 years of age. From Miles Platting to Manchester, where I would go to a shop called Spinning Records. If people in Manchester, they'll know. If they knew the shit, about the funk, the soul, R&B, jazz, hip hop. They'd have known about spinning. About as big as a matchbox. Used to go down there every Wednesday and buy me import electro records. We're talking 1984, and I'm not George Orwell either. Man, they were good days. Mate, that was a place, wasn't it? And I will say this, I was lucky enough to play at the Hacienda. Yes, yes. It was an event, I was working at a radio station called Soul Nation. Roughly late 90s, you could say. No, mid to late 90s. We had a first year birthday. It was a pirate radio station, but it was trying to do the right thing by generating a series of what they call RSLs. These are temporary licenses. So we was trying to project ourselves as a proper, legitimate, professional radio station, albeit a little bit of cheeky monkey. Have a gig at the Hacienda. 2,000 people turned up. Mint. The sound system was Soul Control sound system. I got to play a set on there. Man, and to see the balcony and everyone just raving, lighters going off. It was one of the best feelings I've probably had as a DJ in terms of knowing the historical significance of the Hacienda. You know, I've played in many clubs, played over in abroad, Russia, France, but that was something. That was freaking something. Yes, there you go. Spinning. Remember the bags with a disc on it? Man, spinning records. How big was it, mate? It was like that. You walked in, you couldn't even turn round. You'd have to go, mate, can I just have 12 inch of that? You grab it and then walk out backwards again. It was a joke. It was so small, but it was meant because it was a niche place. There was no one that was selling funk, R&B, soul, you know, all them kind of grooves, getting them in from America. Buying imported records. I was buying imports. A 12-inch record, $4.49 in 1984. Jesus Christ, man. 51 in a few days. Ugh. Mad one, innit? There you go. What's going on here? I tell you, mate, they do, don't they? They do. And that's the annoying thing, because I've seen the effects of what music done in Manchester in the 80s and the 90s. It chilled everyone out. Everyone just went like that. There was a nice, happy vibe. Everyone loved similar music. There was music crossing over all over the place, and it was just marrying with each other. So it meant different ethnicities. People who just thought differently were just coming together for the same thing. Mad, innit? And you just think, hey, oh, who's mentioned Eastern Bloc there? Yes. Oh, no way. I've actually worked in Eastern Bloc for the latter part of it before it closed down and reopened again. I've not been in there for years. But that used to be my regular haunt as well. Vinyl Exchange across the road, Piccadilly Records. You know, there was quite a few, but I'm sorry to hear that you had a bad experience in there. That was more rave and house there. They got a little bit of hip hoppy and soul towards the end, you could say, the last few years. But that was always known as a more kind of housey venue for buying your stuff. But they had some proper slammers. Used to buy from there frequently. Time I finished writing the subject changes. Sorry, mate, maybe I need to speak a little slower than to give you a chance to write your comment. Sorry, sorry. These bouts of madness, it means that the drug I'm normally on is wearing off. So I need to get another capsule down there to stop it happening. Does it break? You're right. I think it was you said it, wasn't it, mate? It breaks down barriers. You know, everyone's got a shared truth, innit? And let's put it this way: if I don't like a certain music type and you do, I'm not gonna want to kill you for it. I'm not gonna call you the Nazi either, unless it's overtly obvious that what you're listening to and the way you're dancing to it that says to me that you might have them tendencies. But other than that, Jesus Christ, I think I'm lucky because I've probably lived through many genres, and as you know, this age group, we are lucky in a sense that the way music has fundamentally changed from the bands going all the way through to electronic music and stuff. But it means you're getting to listen and soak it in. Me being a DJ, uh, you listen to all types of music because it all can be a building block to making a tune. You produce tunes, you use different sounds. It's not like it used to be. It don't always have to be just your conventional instruments. It can be industrial sounds. It can be a horse. It could be clipper clopping a fucking coconuts. Whatever it is, you can create anything now, and you can fundamentally, dynamically change that sound anyway. So you wouldn't even know it was there, but it's still playing a part of a building block to a tune. It's fantastic. And that is hip hop for me. A hip hop DJ who is good will understand the basic premise that everything's up for grabs. Everything. Every vocal, every stab, whatever it is, every beat, whatever, snare, everything. Because there's something, if you're a technician on the decks, there will be something that you can do that you can then introduce it into a fat ass tune. You know? Anyway, rap is evil. I don't know, mate. Rap is not evil. It's the way it's been corrupted. I think what you might be trying to say. Same again, you can't generalize. You can't say everyone who raps because it's not. There's many good, spiritual, intelligent, articulate, and thoughtful rappers who then make you think and make you want to change the life for the better. Rap is a form. The way of doing it, multifaceted. That's like saying singing's evil because you can sing, you can have a Mariah Carey over there, and you can have someone singing some satanic shit over there. So then I've got the right to say singing's evil. It's just as relevant. You've got a spectrum. Unfortunately, I know why you're saying that is because what's being projected out is nothing but the shit element of hip hop, the negative aspects. The aspect that's dumbing down people, whether it be white or black or whoever fucking listens to it. I can totally understand that. From a producer's aspect, I think musically, hip hop has never been in such a good place. Lyrically, it's regressed back to the fucking nursery times. Literally, baby raps, baby little cheap ass melodies that anyone could come up with. All of a sudden, you've got this mad hit, no depth to it, no dynamic. It's not got a positive message. You got Snoop Doggy Dogg telling everyone to order takeaway whilst giving you gang signs. So I get why you're saying that, but it would be kind of unfair to say rap is evil. There's a spectrum. That's my point of view, anyway. Yes, totally agree with you. But you know what I would say, Red Lioness, and I've kind of demonstrated it. I've demonstrated it in the stuff that I do. when you've got certain sounds that are, you would admittedly say, trap sounds, drill sounds, jungle sounds, all of them music genres have got a negative connotation, notably, because some of the time, particularly the drill and the trap, it tends to have a negative vocal that's put on top of it. But I've proved it with before that you can use the same rhythm track, but then if you're putting a vocal on it that's got a different message, that music form is transformed. It then sinks into the positive message. But I totally get you with the guys with the videos talking about the postcode and the dogs and the fucking blinging and the hoods up and that. Who wants that? Who wants it? No one does. It's not positive. Don't want my kids learning that crap. If you think that's clever, you know? But if I guarantee most drill tunes, set that vocal off it, right? Give me a week. Give me a week and a bank of different vocals of my choosing. And I guarantee I will make you think that the drill music, not the rap, drill music is not the cause. It's what the shit they put on top of it is that gives it a bad name. Music's music. I'm all right, Mr. Free Palestine. How are you, sir? Yes. Name dropping. We're doing. How you doing, Angel? That wasn't spooky. Yes, Rob. So to me, man, I listen to the positive rap, the positive element. I'm old school anyway. So there's very little of the new stuff that I do actively seek out because I've got such an extensive record collection from the old school. So I stick with that. That's where I like to be. Yes, Free Palestine. Hope you're good, sir. I hope you're good. Where's Emma? Is Emma in? Yes, Emma. Good to see you. How we diddling? So I'm hoping, like I say, there's going to be one more interview that I've got that resorted around that event that we went to, the Manchester event, massive. And then I'm hoping Katie and I are going to jump in on a stream at some point and put a little bookend on the whole event, you could argue, but particularly the BBC things that were going on there. There was positive bits, but there was an element of something that a lot of people have been getting in touch about that they wasn't happy with that is probably worthy of bringing up. So Katie and I have agreed to hold probably a stream in a day or two's time to get that going and get it discussed, but try and do it with balance as well. You know, it's only right. So how are we doing? Thank you to all for jumping on. Thank you to all. Probably going to get going short. Oh, have I been on an hour and a half? Going to get going shortly. Get some food on. So I hope you've enjoyed the show, guys. There will be more little streams like this moving forward, but it's always a question of finding the time. And I will be going through a little bit more footage over the next day or so to get that interview processed as well. So there's always something going on, guys. I just hope that you stay positive, whatever you're doing. And unfortunately, like I say, as my birthday is this Saturday, I won't be attending any marches or anything. But I'm hoping, is it London the following Saturday or is it Saturday after that? Because I'm looking at going to there for that event. I'm sure there was something towards the end of May, was there? Or is it more the beginning of June? That's probably the next one that I'm going to be going to, unless there's something that will pop up in Manchester. Yes, Graham. Stay safe, mate. I did, and it was beautiful. Absolutely glorious, mate. I put my trackies on like now, look. My comfy trackies, and that beautiful, warm, glowy feeling when you get out of the bath. And I felt great. Just going through the footage, I had a couple of cans of beer at my side. The wife was happy. Later on in the evening, started watching some footage. It was a great evening. Thank you very much, mate. Very nice. The Ark. Are we talking about the ones with the kids, child sex trafficking? Were they the Ark? Not sure what their actual name is, but I know I interviewed one of them. I think he was called Anthony. Did the lad in the wig get arrested? What lad in the wig? Oh, right. I don't think he did, Emma. No, but I guess you're talking about the stream. Did you see when the copper come up to me and said, listen, do me a favour, have a word with him, because if he doesn't behave himself, he's going, you know. He wanted to rip him out. And to be fair, he was pissed. But he was kind of slightly borderline and unruly pissed. And it wasn't looking good, some of the things he was doing. And I think most people got onto the fact we just stay away from him. You know, you could see he was giving off that energy where you could see girls were kind of just sidestepping if he come near him and that. He proclaimed to be something he wasn't, I think. I think that was all just probably his ego and just the occasion got to him. I don't know. But no, not that I know of, Emma, unless after I left, he carried on, you know, being a bit of a jackass and then whatever. But I think the guy was, I mean, it's hard to say, I don't know him. Come across all right, just too pissed. Probably just need to chill out. Don't think you're a big bad man either, because you know what I mean. We're not here for that. But other than that, it was a massive event. It was brilliant. You've seen the footage. Still got a buzz and a smile on because of it, you know. And I haven't had that for a long while, you know. And I think marches, we all needed that, didn't we? We all needed that bit of feel good. So, yes. Thank you, Damon. You're a star, mate. Yeah. Right, so I'm going to get going. Great Brit, mate. You're a star. He's a living legend, this guy, you know, because what people don't know is that I only have one modder. I think Katie can be a moderator as well. But it's not because I don't want people, it's because I barely know how to fucking make someone a modder. Great Brit, it took me and Great Brit 15 minutes to work it out. So I'm not going through all that again. You know what I mean? So at the moment, he's only been the ever modder. But I tell you what, the guy does an impeccable job. I love him down to the ground. We can have a nobble in the background. Even if we've got a difference of opinion, which is very rare that it's actually vocalised that we've got a difference of opinion, I think we both just accept who each other is, and we both support each other in what we do. The guy is a legend, so nice one, matey. And I'd like to thank everyone else who's come on as well. There will be more content coming up in the next couple of days, guys. So take care of yourselves. It's a lovely sunny evening. I'm going to have chicken for my tea, and I'm going to feel good. So I hope you do too. Love you all, even the pissing haters.
I love you. 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 I love you.
Even the pissing haters.
I love you. 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 I love you.